Went down in. What am I gonna do? No, we've been trying to do some of the art.
I go ahead and call the March 9th meeting to order and ask the clerk to read the roll. Call a roll.
Councilmember Karpinski Costa.
Present.
Councilmember Lopez Taff.
Here.
Councilmember Middleton is absent. Vice Mayor Daniels. And Mayor Schaefer is absent.
If you could please stand and join me at the flag salute. I pledge allegiance to the flag
Of the United States of America.
to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible. Next item, please.
Next item is a video statement. This meeting of the Citrus Heights City Council is cablecast live on Metro Cable 14, the local government affairs channel on the Comcast Consolidated Communications and AT&T Uverse cable systems. This meeting is closed captioned and live streamed at citrusheights.net. And tonight's meeting replays Monday, March 13th at 9 a.m. on channel 14. This meeting can also be viewed at the city's YouTube channel.
Your next item, please.
Next item is approval of agenda.
Okay.
Move approval.
Been moved by Councilmember Karpinski Costa,
Second.
by Councilmember Tapp. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Next item, please.
Next item is public comment. If you wish to address the council during the meeting, please fill out a speaker identification sheet and give it to myself. If participating via Zoom, you may use the raise hand function and the host will unmute you when it is time to speak. Speakers are limited to 5 minutes each. When your name is called, please step forward to the podium and state your name for the record. And Vice Mayor, I do have 2 public comment cards to read tonight. I did not receive any speaker cards from the audience, and I do not see any raised hands on Zoom. Therefore, I will go ahead and read the written comment that we have received. The first one is from Cynthia Fagan. She states, "Thank you to Tiffany Campbell of Animal Services for reaching out to work towards a solution regarding dumping of pets in the parks. I have volunteered the past 9 years at 2 local shelters and for a rescue group. Pet abandonment is intertwined with many social issues, but that does not make it acceptable. Animal control officers have told me they've gone to homes to collect pets, only to see CPS or APS along with code enforcement officers at the same home. Civic agencies and leaders of Citrus Heights should inform citizens of all ages through social media and outreach that abuse, neglect, and dumping of pets is not only illegal, but simply wrong. Further actions might include building a Citrus Heights animal shelter that can be small in space and staff, but big on volunteers, rescue, fostering, and adopting. Collaborating with a nonprofit like Red Rover is one of many options. They offer a humane education program for youth and another program to keep domestic violence survivors together with their pets in transitional housing. For catching and rehoming the park rabbits, only Sunshine Sanctuary has been most active recently, but Friends of Unwanted Rabbits, All Ears, as well as Leaps and Bounds are local rescues that have rescued park rabbits in the past. And the last written comment I have is from Peter Ho, and he states, I am Peter Ho. I addressed the council on January 26th regarding my home. On March 1st, the receiver, Mr. Eric Beatty, motioned for the sale of my home and the court granted. I responded February 17th, 2023, emphasizing the perjury of the improper service that was true and wrong. The court/judge did not want to acknowledge, recognize, and correct this judicial error. Perjury is a serious felony crime submitted by the city law firm Jones Mayer, and it as key in setting receivership into motion. I also emphasized how the receivership was allowed without meeting code requirement of reasonable time to abate and repair. I was only giving 3 days for a vague and long list created by code enforcement. Again, the court/judge did not want to recognize this major error and unjust, unlawful violation against me and correct this error. I am being charged around $325,000, the full value of my home, due to run up of charges, and will lose both my retirement savings and the only modest home I have. I have been mistreated and severely wronged. I am struggling to deal with the internal pain from this injustice. I asked to city council leaders to compensate me for this excessive and unreasonable action, loss of my home and retirement savings in some way and extent, or maybe you can ask the court or receiver to stop and not sell my home. And that is all of the speaker sheets I have.
Okay, thank you. Next item, please.
Next item is presentations, and our first presentation, number 4, is a proclamation of the City of Citrus Heights proclaiming March 2023 as Women's History Month.
Member Taft to do this for us, please.
It is my pleasure to present this proclamation. I would like to invite Janet Harry with the Seroptimus Group, Seroptimus International of Citrus Heights to the podium to accept the proclamation, and I will read it first, and then we'll join you for photos and any remarks you would like to make. Proclamation of the City of Citrus Heights proclaiming March 2023 as Women's History Month. Whereas Women's History Month is a celebration of women's contributions to history, culture, and society, and has been observed annually in the month of March in the United States since 1987. And whereas women of every race, class, and ethnic background have made historic contributions to the growth and strength of Citrus Heights in countless recorded and unrecorded ways. And whereas women have been leaders, not only in securing their own rights of suffrage and equal opportunity, but also in the abolitionist, emancipation, industrial labor, civil rights, and peace movements, creating a more fair and just society for all. And whereas, whether serving in elected positions across America, leading groundbreaking civil rights movements, venturing into unknown frontiers, or programming revolutionary technologies, generations of women that knew their gender was no obstacle to what they could accomplish, have long stirred new ideas and opened new doors, having a profound and positive impact on our community. And whereas this month we celebrate countless pioneering women and their victories. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the City Council of the City of Citrus Heights does hereby recognize the month of March 2022 as Women's History Month and honor women's contributions in Citrus Heights and American history. So do you have any remarks that you would like to make before we present the proclamation?
Just that I'm a fairly new member of the Seroptimus Club and just really, really excited to be part of this group and the vision we have of, empowering women and helping young women and women of all ages, do better and be better.
Wonderful. So fellow council members, can we join?
Thank you very much, Councilmember Taft, for that. Next item, please.
Next item is presentation number 5, proclamation of the City of Citrus Heights proclaiming March 2023 as Red Cross Month.
For this one, I've asked Councilmember Karpinski Costa to do the presentation.
Is Patricia Davis in the audience? Oh, good. Now you can do what she did, is just wait there. I'll read this and then you can make statements and we'll do a little photo op after. Proclamation of the City of Citrus Heights proclaiming March 2023 as American Red Cross Month. Whereas in times of crisis, residents of a community come together to care for one another. This humanitarian spirit serves as the very foundation of a community and is exemplified by American Red Cross volunteers and donors. And whereas in 1881, good old Clara Barton founded the American Red Cross, turning her steadfast dedication for helping others into a bold mission of preventing and alleviating human suffering. Today, more than 140 years later, we honor the kindness and generosity of Red Cross volunteers here in Citrus Heights who have served throughout our Gold Country region, continuing to carry out Clara's life-saving legacy. They join the millions of people across the United States who volunteer, give blood, donate financially, or learn vital life-preserving skills through the Red Cross. And whereas in wildfires, floods, individual home and family fires, local Red Cross disaster volunteers give hope to the most vulnerable in their darkest hours. Additionally, donating essential blood for accident and burn victims, heart surgery, organ transplant patients, and those receiving treatments for leukemia, cancer, or sickle cell disease, supporting service members and veterans along with their families and caregivers. Through the unique challenges of military life, helping to save the lives of others with first aid, CPR, and other skills, or delivering international humanitarian aid. And whereas their work to prevent and alleviate human suffering is vital to strengthening our community's resilience, we dedicate this month of March to all those who continue to advance the legacy of founder Clara Barton, who lived by her words. I quote from Clara, "You must never think of anything except the need and how to meet it," unquote. We ask others to join this commitment of giving back in our community. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the City Council of the City of Citrus Heights does hereby proclaim the month of March. I think you meant 2023, not 20, so I'm going to correct that. It's a misprint. 2023 as American Red Cross Month, and I encourage all residents to reach out and support this humanitarian mission. Maybe we can reprint this. Plus, I spilled some iced tea on it. Like to say anything?
Just a few words. I am a staff member with the Red Cross for Gold Country. And I, for 17 years, was also a Red Cross volunteer, which is why when I came the last time, I brought a group of volunteers with me because I take my pride and my joy in them. As you can see, they're not here tonight because they're out working. They're working in
Right.
warehouses, setting up shelters, setting up kitchens. And this they have been doing ever since I came to Gold Country 7 years ago. So my thanks to them in terms of the honor for representing them, but just one special message from their heart to this particular body. It's their wish that I thank in particular the firefighters. It is not well known that we respond to home fires and we provide immediate assistance, recovery help, and other aspects of immediate aid to those individuals left on the street in the middle of the night. But since July 1st of last year, we have in this county extended that assistance to over 300 cases and over 600 individuals. That's how prevalent the home fire has become in destroying through either major or total destruction of residents. We see the work these gentlemen and ladies do in the middle of the night. It is lesser known than what they do in wildfires, but the respect and the love of the volunteers they would like me to convey tonight to your firefighters.
How many volunteers do you have?
In this particular county, we have 200. And so as a matter of fact, I won't delay your meeting. I'm going to be leaving almost immediately, not because I'm rude, but because we have to get back to work tonight. So
Well, thank you for what you do. It doesn't get any better than the Red Cross.
Oh,
That's
thanks.
the bottom line. And so we're gonna come down, take a little picture and get you back to work. All right, next item, please.
Next item is comments by council members and regional board updates.
Start with Council Member Taft.
Right, it's been a busy, at least this week and late last week. I had the pleasure of attending on the 4th, the Sacramento Police Officers Association retirement dinner, and that was just very, very well done. They had 32 retirees that they honored, and we had a wonderful color guard, and I was invited by Supervisor Sue Frost to represent the city at her table, and that was just special to be able to witness something like that, have a deep respect for our law enforcement. On the 5th, I attended the Citrus Heights Women's Club Tea Party, and that was great. We got to learn all about tea etiquette. And I am a member of the Citrus Heights Women's Club, wonderful organization if you have not ever encountered or worked with them. On the 7th, I was invited to be a speech contest judge for the District Lions Scholarship Speech Contest, and their subject was social media. Is it essentially good or bad for us? And the winner made such an amazing, she was a young lady of 17 years old, and she made such a good argument that it is not always good. And finally, yesterday, I had a briefing with the Sacramento Homeless Policy Commission CEO on their local efforts and hopefully getting some numbers around how do we work with the budget from all of these various entities in order to make sure that our unhoused gets all the services that they receive. And that's been my couple weeks.
Council Member Karpinski Costa.
Wow. You know, we as council members are assigned to our regular agencies that we represent. We also come to visit with staff. So we had a couple of staff meetings. We had a finance committee. Vice Mayor Daniels and I had a meeting with Casey about some of the new rules coming out. So some of those meetings, you know, we're kind of busy. Our calendars are full. But anyway, I did have 2 agency meetings since the last council meeting. My favorite one, the sewer. I think what's going to be coming forward is a rate increase. It probably won't happen until next summer, but there hasn't been a rate increase it's like one of them since 2010 and another one since 2016 because you have your regional and your local sewer. And so they've got some increase in labor costs. The cost of chlorine has gone from 58 cents a gallon to $2 and something cents a gallon. They pay, cost of SMUD has gone up. They are the second user of SMUD, second highest SMUD user in the region next to the state of California. And our SMUD bill every year has gone up now to $12 million a year. So I look at my little bill, I think. So there will be, but you know, I gotta say that Jeannie served on this agency for all the time she was on the council, and before her, Roberta. And they did a good job they built the Echo project with just gradual increases so that nobody got hit all of a sudden. And so that was thanks to, I believe Jeannie was the one that promoted that gradual rate increase because they were going to slam everybody all at once. The management of the agency, they refinanced some bonds to save. He looks at every way he can to keep the stable rate. And he will continue to do so, and I will keep you informed. But we're talking like 50 cents, increase. It's not talking, I says, increase, you want an increase? Look at the garbage bill, there's increase. So I says, a little increase, I think people are going to understand it. I think there'll be public outreach to, everybody so you'll understand why, the cost of everything has gone up for everybody. And it's just surprising that the sewer has waited this long to raise rates. But, I'm impressed with the way that the whole outfit is managed. Then I had my STA meeting today, one that is very complicated. I got to commend Jeff Slowey for being on that STA he's a banker. And so this is a big board, there's lots of people from the county and the cities and everything. And so Chair Desmond says, I was an English major. We're sitting here getting all these bond lectures on financials. And I says, I was a microbiology major. So, and so to understand bonds and because they have 362 million outstanding bond debt. So they're constantly looking for ways for refinancing it and saving dollars and not having to put sales tax measures on the ballot. So it's kind of exhausting to understand, but the big highlight of the day was a presentation by SACOG, and Tim's not here, but it's their next blueprint. And what I liked about the blueprint was they're kind of going away from light rail, expanding light rail, and they want to do more rapid transit buses. The bus just goes zooming down the road, doesn't make any stops, and gets to where it's going quickly. And they want to spend money for trails. So we did get, and this is going to be in probably your report, huh? The money from the trails. I forget the number, $7 million? $7 million to expand the Arcade Creek Trail to go from Sayonara to Mariposa. And it's just going to be, now their plan, I told them, I'm sorry, I'm 76 years old because I won't be around to see it. Their plan is to have a trail system that goes the entire 6-county region, that you can actually go to Ileton from here on a trail. You could go on trails. I just think this is like so cool. There's going to be a connection. They only need to do 1,000 miles of trail. Oh, but it's a nice project. And then, so they had rapid bus transit trails, and I'm advocating for a slow lane instead of the fast lane for the bus, a slow lane for NEVs, neighborhood electric vehicles, like my Costamobile, because you can travel so if I want to go to the mall, I can't use the Costamobile. I have to take my car because I'm not allowed on Sunrise Boulevard. But if you had a slow lane for neighborhood electric vehicles, then people could make small jaunts and they're, look, I could go to the library because I can't go on Auburn Boulevard right now. So, it's kind of like, I'm going to advocate for NEVs. But anyway, that was my day, my week. And I want to thank the staff who meet with us on site, on their hours of work and try to educate us so that we don't look like dummy when we get up here. That's my report.
Thank you very much. Well, I had a nice list of what I'd been up to and then decided to leave it at home. So I'm just going to take my opportunity here to publicly thank the city manager, the police chief, the staff, and responding quickly to the issue of camps that had popped up over at the library. We need our families and our citizens to be able to feel safe to go to these areas. So please, if you see that, don't wait, be the squeaky wheel, call it in. We have a team now that addresses these things. We have a beautification crew that cleans these things up. But we can't always be the ones that are out there looking for them, reporting them and whatnot. So there is a system to report them. I can't remember if there's a specific phone number, but the city manager is on it. So here it comes.
We have multiple ways, see, click, fix. We also have our CHLO app, but we have multiple ways to report. We have phone numbers, and we can go ahead and post a slide up on that later
Thank you very much.
during
Yeah.
the department updates.
So we have these resources, we've heard you, we're responding, we have these resources, but we also need your help in reporting things when you see them. So if you see something, go ahead and give us a call and hopefully we can get it cleaned up quickly. And in the meantime, also offer people services and opportunities to have an alternative to that style, whatever. That is it. We'll go to next item.
Next item is the consent calendar. We have consent calendar items 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11.
Any items to be pulled for separate discussion or action?
Item 6, minutes.
6, any other items? Need a motion for items 7 through 11,
Oh, made.
moved by Karpinski Costa. Any second?
Second.
By Councilmember Taft. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Passes. Excuse me, let's go now to item number 6.
And number 6 is the minutes. And my concern is that it lists Amy Van as present at a closed session and you were not.
That was just for the meeting, opening of the meeting.
Yeah, we know
present at
that,
the
but
meeting.
if posterity is look like you was sitting in on it because you're listed as just in attendance. I mean, if you want to put down there that Amy helped set it up, that's fine.
Sure.
But it doesn't
Make that
It just,
notation.
okay. And then the other is that Portia Middleton participated by Zoom. And all the other boards I sit on, if a director participates by Zoom, there's a little asterisk that says participated by Zoom. So that should be indicated that she was not in the room because we did have documents that we were like holding up to the screen. So, she might not have seen everything. So it's just that she was there, but she was there by Zoom.
Okay, we can
I'd
make
like
those
that to
notations.
be reflected in the minutes.
Okay.
Thank you. That's it. And other than that, I'll move the minutes as amended.
Go ahead and second. Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
And any opposed? Item passes. Next item, please.
The next item is public hearing, number 12. The subject is zoning code updates, and the recommendation is to continue the item to a future meeting.
Okay, we're going to continue this item to April 27th. Do I need to go ahead and open up the public hearing?
Yes, please. And then we would need a motion to actually move it to that date certain of April
Go
27th,
ahead and
please.
put the public hearing. Anybody wishing to speak on this item? Amy, anything on your end?
I do not have any raised
And
hands.
close the public hearing, and then we'll need a motion to continue the item to April 27th.
I'll make that
To
motion.
continue.
I'm going to give this one to Councilmember Taft. And
Yeah,
a
go
second
for it.
by Councilmember Karpinski
Go
Costa.
for it.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye, and any opposed? Nope. Next item, please.
The next item is regular calendar, item number 13. The subject is fiscal year 22-23 mid-year budget adjustment and financial forecast update. The recommendation is to adopt a resolution approving amendments to the fiscal year 22-23 budget.
Just want to share this. Get some help, Amy, with sharing this. Thank you. Thank you so much. Good evening, Vice Mayor and council members. Tonight, we present to you the fiscal year 22-23 mid-year budget review. So discussion topics for tonight, we will be reviewing the mid-year budget. More particularly, we'll be focusing on the general fund and the American Rescue Plan Act funds. And later after that, we'll also review the 10-year financial forecast update. A little bit about our calendar. The budget was adopted on April 22nd, 2021, with our first quarter update on October 27th, 2022. And today we have here the update to our revenue and expenditure projections. And later in July, we will come back with a year-end review and a status report. So just looking ahead, where we stand today with revenues, we are about 48% of budget. So we were projecting about 42.1 million, and we've obtained about 20 million so far. And in expenditures, we were projecting or budgeting about 35.3 million with about 20%, 20 million so far. So that's 57%. We have about a $240,000 shortfall, which is expected just due to the fact of the way our revenues are. Our revenues are cyclical. So for example, we have our property tax, which has 2 installments. We received one in January, one in May. Second one is our sales tax, which is our biggest revenue source. And that's usually about a 2-month lag. And our motor vehicles also, as an example, is also in 2-month installments of January and May. Our expenditures, as you can see, are fairly consistent. We are about 6 months in at the end of January. So, and they're close to 50%. And then again, with the lag in revenue, we have the reliance on our cash reserves. We are recommending a few revenue adjustments today. So good news is with our projections, we are projecting about a 1.58 million increase in revenue adjustments. First one is our property tax. We did receive our first payment of property tax, and we are projecting about $430,000 more.
Can you repeat that? We did what? We received what?
Our first property tax?
Our
Oh, yes. Our first ever property tax. We should say that a little more oomph, right?
That's sweet.
Absolutely, we did. We received our first property tax payment back in end of January. And I'm happy to say that our projections are looking to where we're going to be a little bit over. So that's good news. Sales tax, we're projecting about $280,000. And our TOT is about 77,000, motor vehicles about 707,000, and investment revenues, that's our investments in Lake Lave, about 80,000. Expenditure adjustments, we are requesting an increase for expenditure adjustments of $200,000, and that's basically our CalPERS pension unfunded actuarial liability payment. The projections, they come out about a year after. So when we're planning our budget, it's a little hard to forecast and still close at $200,000 increase. With that, just wanted to take your attention over here to the year-end projections. We are projecting our revenues at 43.5 million. So that's about 1.58 million, as I just spoke about. Our expenditures are about 35.5 million, so about 200,000 over. Our operating surplus net, we're projecting about 8 million over, and I'll go over what that's going to look like in the 10-year forecast as far as our reserves balance and how it relates to that. So we're projecting about 1.38 million over. I do want to make a note that every year in about June, we come in with our appropriations limit. And our appropriations limit was about 65 million, if I remember correctly. And we are well below that at the 43 million. So no issues there. We're well within our means. Wanted to review the ARPA funds. Just to highlight, we do have some ARPA funding that we had allocated. So again, this is through the end of January. We have some recommendations that are going to be coming forward, but as of the end of January, we were about $5.7 million remaining in our ARPA funding. Our 10-year financial forecast update. So the purpose of our financial forecast is to be sure that we continue to maintain our fiscal responsibility by fiscally planning for and identifying any potential issues that might be coming up and develop a corrective action plan. So to be more proactive rather than reactive as we start to model it out. Our last update was in October 2022. So what's changed since then? We've updated our revenue projections, like our property tax, sales tax, and vehicle in lieu fees that we just mentioned. Those are included in there, and plus our labor costs are also included in there. I do want to take a moment. I kind of zoomed in. I didn't put the full 10 years because it becomes really small on a PowerPoint. So mainly I wanted to highlight our projection for ending reserves, which is going to be at about 19.6 million. And just taking a look down below here where city council policy is about 17%. So that's 6 million. We're going to be about 13 million above that. And then our city manager target reserve at 25% will be about 10.7 million above that. So that's good news as well. And I do want to mention, though, with these reserves, what it will help with is our cash flow for modeling. So as you just mentioned earlier, Dr. Jana, the Auburn piece, right? Well, you were mentioning the Cripple Creek piece, but we have our Auburn for streets, the 4 million there, and then we have our street repairs. And you can see where we'll have a negative net operating position, but that's the point in the reserves, is to help smooth out the process so that we can fund these projects. With that, I did want to take a look ahead forward. So we are in the last year of our 2-year budget cycle. And just in February, we kicked off our budget development for our next 2-year cycle. So staff has been working hard to put our next 2-year cycle together. So March through April, we'll be preparing our budget cycle. And in late April, we'll have a preliminary review with council. And our target is in May to have a budget workshop, and then May or June to have a budget adoption. So more to come on that. In addition to that, we'll have some more information on a website. We're going to be redesigning our financial webpage. So that's also to come. And then we'll also be developing our first ever budget document. So a little more easy to read, similar to our popular financial report. With that, our recommended action is to adopt resolution approving amendments to fiscal year 22-23 budget. Any questions?
Any preliminary questions before we go to comments from the public?
Yeah, I have a question. So under the column for your general fund revenue and expenses, it says budget adjustment, but are we actually adjusting anything, or that's just reflecting the actual versus our projection?
So we are adjusting. I may just go back.
You on, Mary Jane?
On page 295 of the agenda packet.
Is it this particular one you were?
Yes.
Okay. So we had budgeted, or adopted budget was 42.13 million. And we are projecting to come in over by about 1.5 million. So what we're asking for is to amend that budget and increase it to 43.56 million.
The only reason why I ask this is because you want to keep those, or at least in my mind, you want to keep what you originally budgeted for and either enjoy or commiserate about the over under. And I think it's really important that we know what is the gap that was created. At least for me, I like those to be kept separate simply because it's a projection. You can't predict the future, and you want to know if it was way under projection or over projection. That would be my only point there. Not that I'm asking for a particular action there. It's merely a question. My second question is for the if the other two ARPA fund expenditures that are yet to be decided were spent, the remaining balance is 4.6 million. Is there a plan for that? Because I know those funds expire at a certain point.
We have several projects that I know our city manager has on his radar. I'm assuming if
Sure, I can help with that. Thanks, Susan. Councilmember Lopez Taft, for the ARPA funds, they need to be allocated by December of 2024, and then they need to be expended by December of 2026. So one of the things that we've been working with the city council on through the council adopted focus area work plan is to expend those funds in a very community facing way. So certainly as part of like strategic planning or even as part of our upcoming 2-year budget prep, we'll continue to have discussions about how to allocate that remaining balance consistent with city council policies and priorities.
Perfect. I thought the timeline was ending in 2014, so I'm glad we have a little bit more time. Thank you. Thank you.
Any other preliminary questions?
The $200,000 for PERS, is that your regular side fund or is that in addition to our regular side fund?
A regular, I'm sorry, which fund? I didn't catch
The
that.
200,000 to
It's our unfunded actuarial liability. So when that report comes out, it's an estimate of what your liability is going to be. So we have our standing
we still
payment
make
that
payments though for the, you know what I'm saying, the side fund? It used to be close to $1 million. It was,
we do.
that
so-
comes with after a budget. When do you make those payments?
We
don't
make them
s-
annually.
So where are they just part of the regular expenditures?
Yes.
Okay, so that's in there as expenditure. Okay, so you're just making an extra 200,000 to kind of cut the amount down a little bit?
The liability that came out was 200,000 over than our projections.
Oh, okay,
That's
okay.
correct.
And my second question is, what I found out, which I was shocked and I'm sure other people might be, is you think, and I just wrote out the check for my property tax. And it's thousands. City gets what? Pennies of my thousands. You don't get my thousands of dollars that I pay my property tax. Now, there used to be a pie chart that showed your property tax dollar where it goes. So the city gets so many pennies
That's
and the
correct.
county gets so many dollars. And so it's like where it goes. And so maybe we could get just as a FYI pie chart that we can show people that, everybody thinks that we're getting all these thousands of millions and millions of dollars in property taxes and we're not. I mean, it's nice that we got what we got, but it's a small piece of the pie that we pay. So
Sure. I have come across that pie as digging through files. I'll pull that back up and
I
find
think-
it.
Yeah, I remember seeing one once when somebody came to our neighborhood meeting and brought the pie chart and everybody was looking at it. So it's been a while though, since they could have changed the allocations. So the pie chart's fun to see people's. It's a pie chart.
Will do.
Yeah, let's see if that was it for now. So our GAN spending limit is 65 million. It's gone up that much since years, huh?
Yes.
All right. Okay, then that's.
Thank you, Vice Mayor Daniels. One of the things I did want to point out, there are some terrific tools. There's this popular annual financial report.
I was gonna
that-
mention that. Here it is.
Yeah, and so that really breaks down the budget into a user-friendly document. Of course, for those that want to go through the entire budget, it's an important document to go through. But if you're wanting to just kind of get some cliff notes and an executive summary, the popular annual financial report is a terrific report. That is an attachment to one of our items tonight, and we have that posted on our website. And then in addition to that, the pie chart that you're speaking to, I know Susan and her team are looking at a number of different ways to have easy to decipher examples like you just spoke to on.
I know
how
our
dollars are
property
allocated.
taxes go to the court system, the jails, the libraries, the county for this and that.
But would be shocked to know how little we
I
get.
was
from our
shocked to find out it
property
was
taxes.
pennies to us. Pennies.
Okay, I don't have any blue sheets. Anybody with a hand raised or anybody online to speak?
I do not have any speakers online.
Okay, and then are there any additional questions or comments from council members? I'll just say this, while, people need to understand where we are today and where we believed we were just a couple of years ago when we were trying to pass a sales tax increase. It's a remarkable contrast, and I think it is also a very extreme indication of the good work that the city manager and his staff have done to get us to this point. It's a surplus, $8 million. That's the bottom line, and it's $1.5 million more than we even thought was going to happen. And to me, all that tells me is that Citrus Heights is thriving. We're, we're robust, we're all those things that we need to be. Everything is great. And there's things that need to be fixed still, and we have some more money to fix more things. So, things will get done. The public has to be a little patient with us a little bit, but more than anything, for me, it's an extremely pleasant item and forecast of where we are and where we're headed. And thank you, Ash, and the rest of your staff for that. With that, we will need a motion to adopt the resolution.
So moved.
So moved by Councilmember Taft and seconded by Councilmember Karpinski Costa. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Passes. And I believe that's it for that item. Next item, please.
The next item is department reports, of which there are none. The next item is city manager item.
All right, I do have a couple of items to report on. So good evening, Vice Mayor Daniels, members of the council. A couple of updates from your city manager, Ash Feeney. Yeah, if we can go to the next slide here. Got some great updates from our police department. Good news. Police officer Jared Brackett just graduated from the academy. So he went through the Sacramento County Sheriff's Department Police Academy. He started that in September of last year. And he's going to be starting his field training program this month. So terrific to see that. So we've got three handsome gentlemen in a picture there. That's Jared in the middle, Sergeant Sean Walco on the left, and our own police chief, Alex Turcott, on the right. So if we can go to the next slide. Another thing that is an exciting announcement that Chief Turcott and his team have been working on is bringing back daily logs on police activity. So this is an excerpt from our website. It just launched this week. And so it's a daily activity on arrest and report. So you can go through and on any given day for that week, go down and select to see what kind of activity was happening. So if you're curious about something going on in the city, click on a link and it'll take you right to that report. These reports are available. We keep them around. It's going to be kind of on a 30-day, if you will, so you can look back 30 days on any given report, and they'll be published Monday through Friday. For weekends and holidays, they'll be published either the next Monday or the following business day. So on this is an excerpt right from our webpage. If you wanted to go ahead and pull the reports, you go to our Citrus Heights Police Department webpage. You can see the arrow points to incident logs. It'll take you right to this page here, and you'll be able to see the logs there. And then you can also see the link that's listed at the bottom of this page here. So wanting to share the good news on that. I also wanted to thank Chief Turcott and his team for putting it together. I know that takes a lot of work to get those logs produced, but something that the community is definitely desirous of. And this is basically carrying on from the comments that Vice Mayor Daniels had asked about earlier on, hey, how do you report? You know, if you see something out in the community that you think needs some attention, to how to report. So let me count the ways. So this is on our main webpage. So Amy, if you could just scroll up, please, just to show kind of the top of the webpage here. So this is our cover page of our website. So then if you scroll down, there's a submit a concern is one way. If you take your cursor, please, and there's a submit a concern button. And then in addition to that, so this will take you to a spot where you can submit a concern, but I also want to show under the beautification crew link, you can see on the right there. So this kind of takes you to a page where we talk about our Citrus Heights Cares campaign that the city council just approved. Talks about beautification crew, and then down towards the bottom here, it shows multiple different areas where you can report. So we've got our phone number for general services. We have service requests, online service requests. You can text it. We have the C-Click Fix app. And then, of course, we always have our police non-emergency number as well, especially if it's a police-related activity. So lots of different ways to report. We're trying to make sure that our front page of our webpage offers all kinds of ways to connect people to ways to report items that are of concern. So just wanted to point that out.
What's the app that you were mentioning?
There's a C-Click Fix. And so basically if you
An app that I could download?
you
from
can
the Play
download
Store?
it and there you can do it for Apple or Google. So whatever phone you have, you can download the app, and what that provides the ability to do is if you see it and you think it needs some attention, you can click a picture and then you can report it. And so if you go to the C-Click Fix page, actually, why don't we just that might take us to the app, but we're going to find out. Oh, here we go. Okay, so if we scroll down. No, this is to download the app, but if we go to the view request, for instance, on there, you can see actually too, if something's been reported already. So you can see over here to the left, we've got traffic signal timing, street lights that are on or out. I mean, if you see a street light that's out, we try to be proactive on seeing those, but
So your report, so if you see it's already been reported, you don't have to redo it.
that's right.
It's up there on.
That's
your
right. You
to-do
can see
list.
how it's already on the roster. So it's also another way to kind of be transparent about what's been reported, what hasn't been. And so,
Give estimates of when you think you get to it?
I do know that it's something that we service frequently. I don't know that we have that on there yet, but we definitely are giving it attention. But you can see, for instance, like on the streetlight one, you can see that if it was closed versus the other one just above it on the traffic signal timing, that was acknowledged. So you can also see what's been closed and what's open. And it shows the date that it was closed as well. So.
Oh, okay.
And if I may, city manager, I have used the app and it works wonderfully. As the original reporter of an incident or what have you, it gives you when it was accepted by staff, when they're working on it, and then when it's resolved. So it
Good.
really does
Okay.
communicate quite a bit to the original reporter.
Thank you. Appreciate that. So that really concludes my updates, but just wanted to touch on ways that you can report. Certainly, it's a priority of our council, keeping the community clean, keeping it beautiful, showing that we care. And so we've got multiple ways to help out with that. That concludes my updates.
Sir, very much. Next item, please.
And next item is items requested by council members or future agenda items.
Anything?
We have enough future agenda items. We
Uh,
push so much into the future. And
I am going to actually bring up one thing, and I want to forgive my council members for not at least approaching one prior to the meeting. To see if I can get support for us to come back and consider opposing an assembly bill that is currently going through that would ban tackle football for kids under the age of 12 years old. I think that just leads to idle minds, which just get in trouble. And I think that is a interest that we have in this city of keeping kids active and whatnot. So what I'm asking for is again, a second council member to agree with me that we could bring that back for consideration of opposition to that assembly bill.
I would need more information before. I
But
do
we're
that.
not, that's what we want to do. I want to bring it back with more information for us to make a decision on
Okay.
whether we would want to oppose it or not.
Who are you going to invite to give us the information?
Come on. You're not the author.
It'd be nice to have both sides.
I believe that is a second council member who has,
If you present it with, I like to hear both sides because I don't know enough
invite
about
somebody.
kids under 12 years old.
okay, any other items? Hearing none, we'll go ahead and adjourn.